Good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m., January the 10th of 2022. I'd like to call to order and welcome everybody to the special meeting of the Limestone County Commission. Ella, would you please call roll?
Public comment.
Oh, let me call to order. Public comments. We got a public comments. Sorry
Yes,
about
we
that.
do. Mark Kane.
If you don't mind, sir, step right here to the microphone, please. Mr. King.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm addressing Shirley Johnson, who has the property line of the Ricketts Farm. I know they're wanting to expand, but I think they need to be good to the neighbors that they're flooding out first before they expand to other people's property. The water has ran red clay into her property and into her shops. They came down along to build a little ditch. They piled the dirt on the side, which made nothing but a mud wall. And they tapered it towards the street. When they go in there to fill that in and to sod that yard, all they're going to do is make another havoc for her. She's been there 50 years. She used that land was farm. There was a ditch that ran behind the houses. They filled it in and then brought in and raised the property up. What I'm asking is that they fix it properly for her and take care of what has damaged in her shops and stuff. I just ask them to be good neighbors instead of worrying about the next phase. We've tried to contact them. I've done it personally. My wife has. We've had some other people. No callbacks. Nothing. Until we got some other people involved and they wanted to start reacting. But it's a little bit too late. That's what I have to say today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. King. Ellen, do we have any more?
Yes, John Plunk.
Yes, sir, Mr. Plunk. Step up here, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. In 2019, we filed suit on behalf of the county in what I'll just call opioid litigation. You've read about it, heard about it on TV, where these drug companies flooded the market with opioids. A lot of people died. As far as Limestone County is concerned, our primary recovery was aimed at expenses that we felt like law enforcement had to come to y'all for that would not have been necessary but for more people in the county jail, or more sick people having to be detoxed. You've got a contract with a health services company that might have cost you more than it would have otherwise. So that litigation has proceeded for over 2 years, and we've gotten an offer from the first of several defendants, a company called Endo, E-N-D-O. It is a statewide attempt to settle with them. All 67 counties have been made an offer, all the municipalities that are participating in the suit. So I've given the chairman and Emily the approved abatement strategies where this money could be used for. You'll see there's quite a few of them that you all could use this for. This first settlement, if everything gets approved, the county will get somewhere around $55,000 and to be used for these different purposes. That'll be up to y'all's discretion. So I'll leave these with you. The details of the information right now are supposed to be confidential, but there has to be a certain amount that you discuss in public. Any questions about that litigation? It will go on now for, I'm sure, at least a couple of more years because there's so many other defendants.
No, like I said, well, she's going to check on it to see if we had to put it on a commission meeting or not, since it's already been through before. So
very good. And personally, I wanted to thank y'all for what you did about the Wellness Center. I think that is a great attraction for our community, and y'all stepped up, and I really appreciate it personally. I know the community does. That was, and Chairman and some others and I have been working. Because I use it, I don't have any official position with it. But, and because I'm over 65, I don't have to pay, and I'm willing to. And I think several of us that used to pay and don't have to anymore would be glad to contribute. The chairman knows that, so thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
thank you, Mr.
Thank
Paul.
you. Thank you.
Ellen, do we have any more?
We do not.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll let him get on hand out his papers here. I already got a copy of it.
Thank you.
All right, Ella, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Samet.
Here.
Commissioner Barksdale.
Here.
Commissioner Townsend.
Here.
3 are present. Commissioner Samet, would you lead us in our pledge, please, sir?
Yes, sir. I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. All right. We have one item of business here today under resolutions and orders. I'll ask for a motion to approve the following subdivision, Rickett Farms Phase 2, and I'll let Mark enlighten us on the situation.
Oh, I mean,
You need to speak on
I
it.
get, I mean, do I need
Need
to
a
speak?
motion?
I need, yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask for a motion, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Samet. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Townsend.
All right.
We'll start with the discussion part. Any
All right.
discussion?
I have a statement to make, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
We'll
go
let
ahead.
Mark go first. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the home builder, Good All Homes, has gone out there and worked on that subdivision, worked on that area, and redirected that water out toward the road. They have also put in some pipe. They can't set inlet tops on the pipes until they get their final grading complete, but they do have a final plan in order to get that water into the gutter, which ultimately goes through their pond system. So those things have been put in place by the home builder. All those lots in that phase have been sold to Good All Homes. They're not owned by the developer that submitted Phase 2. And so that's why I put the subdivision on the agenda previously, is because it's a separate phase with a separate owner. So it was separate and apart from where the water issue was. So we've been working on trying to get it resolved. Week before last, I guess it was, is when I had finally found out who to contact. The developer had been working with me, at least passing information along to the home builder. I didn't realize who to contact. I didn't realize how their business had been set up. But the week before the meeting, I had finally made contact with the home builder who could actually work on it and fix it. So they've worked with me since then, and have gone out there to make a temporary diversion berm to turn that water towards the road. But their permanent fix, once they're able to do final grading inside, will actually be catching that water in inlets and putting it into the stormwater system for the subdivision. So that's kind of the update on this subdivision. So, Danny.
I have a statement I'd like to read. First of all, I'd like to say we fail Mrs. Johnson, and it's shameful and disgusting to me that we did. And I'm looking forward to our commissioners, and we probably failed Mark in not giving him the tools to fight crap like that. So we need to have some subdivision regulations strengthened, and unfortunately, you have to write regulations that take care of the thugs in it. There's a bunch of good contractors or developers, but you have to have rules that the thugs have to abide by. But anyway, I have a little written statement here that I'd like to make.
I would like to just respond, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack your time. I was just to fill you in. The attorney and I have been having conversations about how some things that I do have concerns with in our subdivision regulations, and we are going to get together and possibly bring you some amendments to our subdivision regulations. And Danny and I have talked about that a lot of this could have been mitigated sooner had we had something like building permits in place, because that's a more immediate reaction than something to this effect. I don't know what discussions have been brought up in the past with between home builders and the public and the city and the county commission, but I did bring up to Danny that something like that would have been able to make a more immediate response.
We need something where you can go out and just shut the job down.
Well, I
if
imagine
they
it'd
don't
take
comply.
litigation to get something like that, more or less.
I don't know, Madison County has building permits, and I don't know what they went through to do that. But
there's
if it was
always
something
issues.
y'all wanted to investigate, that's a conversation for another day, but I was just gonna bring that.
Are y'all interested in that?
Yeah, I'm
There's
looking
always,
at anything.
Mark and I have discussed it the whole time I've been in. I mean, and I don't know how you put teeth in it, but
Well, I got a
there's
little,
some issues that definitely need to be addressed, and Mark's looking into it, I'm sure.
Go ahead, Dan, finish reading.
all right, thank you. I would like to thank my fellow commissioners for allowing me to take Ricketts Farm subdivision off the agenda at the last meeting. Your action gave Mrs. Johnson some relief that she had been seeking for over a year, as Goodall Homes was out a few days later creating a ditch to prevent water from continuing to flood her property. We need stricter and better subdivision regulations and possibly even permitting in order to strive to protect existing and future homeowners from similar issues. Mark and I have discussed this, and we were not sure if we had the support of the other commissioners. Would have any of you oppose tighter regulations? Y'all good with it, fellas? Tighter regulations?
Well, I'm good with looking
Depends
into.
on
I'm good
I've
with
been looking into any
anything,
situation. I'll look into
anything.
anything.
My understanding of what happened here is that Chris and Terry Preston own the property and do the infrastructure to get the subdivision ready for building homes. Goodall Homes then buys the property and begins building home. We'll approve Phase 1, and it was sold to Goodall. This flooding issue is a Phase 1 issue. Phase 2 is ready for development, and apparently the Prestons are eager to sell, as they were at the commission office a few days later threatening to sue the county. I asked Mr. Deal, our attorney, to visit the site with me. He says since we approved it, we will have to accept the subdivision. He also said the regulations do not say when we have to accept it. I am amazed that we could not prevent a citizen's property from being flooded, but we can go out of the way for the developers who ignored her pleas for relief for over a year in calling a special session. I have some more research to do, and I ask that we postpone this until the next regular meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, this time of the year it's impossible to really do dirt work and not be a problem. I don't know when all this started or anything, but is everything per specs or whatever you got on it, Mark?
Well, we had been having some issues out there, and we did review, and Phase 2 meets the subdivision regulations. Phase 1 met the subdivision regulations when approved. And so at Phase 1, we did have this drainage issue that when it was brought to Danny's attention, we did start trying to approach the developer. At the time, that's who I was working with. They were, I guess, forwarding information to the home builder. But I've since been able to, through the developer's information, was able to get in contact with the home builder, and they have mitigated the issue in Phase 1. It's not the final solution, but the issue is mitigated as far as not compounding the problem on the adjoining property. But they do have a plan for a final solution on that. And like I said, those are two separate subdivisions. So, and each one of them at the time that they were presented and were in accordance with our regulations that we had.
So the problem is going to be taken care of.
I will continue to review it and continue to be in contact with the home builder. But it looks, as of this moment, it looks like they have a plan to have a final solution, and they have a temporary solution in place.
Okay.
Well, and that's all well and good, but if you've got to take something off the agenda to get them to react, I'm not sure what their word is their word is worth.
But we're not having any problems right now. You see any drainage issues back on the backside as far as?
They have put up a berm to block water from going onto the neighboring property, and put a small swale in to route that to the road. So currently, water is not going where it will be going in the final, but it is not going onto the neighboring
Is this
property.
phase 2 or phase 1?
This is phase 1. Phase
Now,
2.
what about phase 2?
Phase 2, everything is it's graded. Everything, all the water is going where it's supposed to. It's got
Don't see
seed
any
and mulch.
problems?
Everything is where it's supposed to be in phase 2. It meets our subdivision regulations.
Okay, well, that's what I want to make sure that, because, I mean, phase 1, apparently this problem's been going on for a year, I think I heard somebody say. So we're not going to have any problems with phase 2, is what I'm,
The water from phase 2 doesn't even go to this area where the
Okay.
problem is in phase 1. So I mean, they are separate issues.
I just want to make sure they're going to fix the phase 1, and we know they're going to
And
fix it.
I will stay on them. We do still have maintenance bonds and everything in phase 1. Developers submitted maintenance bonds for phase 2. So we still have those options, which
Okay.
aren't the best options. I mean,
Right.
as Danny said,
But it's the options we got right now.
that's the options that we have right now.
Right.
I mean, there are deeper conversations to be had
Right.
on how we prevent things in the future. But given what we have right now,
Okay. Well, obviously, I just don't want to flood nobody out. I know that, especially if she's been dealing with it for a year.
and I will reach back out to the home builder and relay further concerns.
You know,
because-
I'd like to go take another look at all this and review our inspection procedures. So I'd ask that y'all give me another week and let's continue this at our regular meeting next week. We're going to have to approve it eventually, but time is not legally, there's no difference in us approving it today and next week. Is that correct, Mr. Deal?
Well, the code requires that if the plat meets the regulations, that it be approved.
It doesn't say when
But
you
it
got to
doesn't
approve.
say at the next meeting.
Right. So legally, there's no difference if we approve it today or next week.
All the code says is that it shall be approved.
Right.
It does not state a time.
Thank you.
We do give them 25 days prior to the meeting. That'd be the only thing I would be. So.
Any more discussion?
That's all.
Well, you know, and first of all, I'd like to apologize to Ms. Johnson. This has not been brought to my attention whatsoever. And I know Mr. Brent Hawkins here is a contractor for years, and Mr. Brent Hawkins does good work.
Yep.
I mean, Mr. Brent Hawkins, I mean, I've dealt with Brent over the years, dealing with the Water Authority and all, and Brent has always done a good job. And I mean, and I know Brent's a good guy, and he'll do what he says he'll do. And, you know, and the issue that, you know, I mean, we did call a special meeting here, and I mean, out of respect for the developer and the Ms. Johnson, we put a week here in here. And I reached out to Mr. Deal, and, you know, the thing is, this, Ms. Johnson, I wish you would have brought it to our attention, because I've asked the engineer, and we hadn't had Ms. Johnson that came to the commission office about the issue until we knew about it previous Monday, you know. So I know that this project has been going on for quite some time, and I know that everybody has been working on this project, you know. So, you know, I know that Preston's had actually came to me trying to get it on the agenda before the end of the year, and we had a holiday or two that fell in there. So, you know, I understand, you know, that this project has been going on for several months now. You know, it's totally up to y'all guys if y'all want to put it on there and go with it or not. You know, but, you know, like I said, you know, and after this, there has actually been, you know, after the newspaper article came out, the guy from the Baptist camp contacted me about an issue we have out there. And, you know, issues like this, a lot of times we're not aware of until an issue comes out. And I have reached out to Mark about that, and he has reached out to Taz Morrell about it, who's the engineer on the thing. And, you know, they will be looking into that project too, you know. You know, it's my, you know, I'm the one that put on the special call meeting here. you know, because they reached out, the press has reached out to me, and Mark says that the subdivision has met the regulations, the new subdivision. Now, the first phase is a total different animal from what we're dealing with here today. And I think everybody will agreement with that. I mean, and we're dealing with a home builder versus the contractor itself or the developer.
This is not the problem.
This is not the problem.
No.
The issue that we're dealing with here today is a totally different issue from phase one, which we do have a construction bond out there, and we can, and if the problem doesn't get fixed, we can redeem that bond. Isn't that correct?
That's my understanding.
And I mean, you know, my deal is, and I know that the developer of the home sites and all will want their bond back, so they will do the best they can to fix this issue. I actually rode out there this morning before I came to the commission meeting. I was out there about daylight this morning to see if water had gotten on Miss Johnson's property. I had never been out there until one day last week. I rode out there and looked at it. You know, I mean, I know for years the water department had a right of way up and down beside there, you know, going to a sewer plant back there. And I know that they, you know, and I know that they will do the best, you know, when they get the yards finished, and what I've seen from my eyes, when they get the drains in the back, the water will go into the storm drain. So y'all make the call. I mean, that's up to y'all.
Well, I'm sure we'll have to approve it. I'm just asking to put it off to a regular meeting next week.
Well, that's totally up to
Well,
y'all gentlemen.
I mean, I kind of trust Mark, and he's saying that, you know, that the back one is not going to cause a problem with the front. I mean,
The phase two.
phase two is not going to cause a problem.
Other than the street, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and do we want to, I mean,
And like I said, I had the special call meeting today because, I mean, I'm not an engineer.
Right.
I have no, I'm an elected official to represent the citizens and the constituents of Limestone County. That's my job. You know, and I get put in tough spots a lot of times. And I mean, you know, I get put in tough spots a lot of times, don't even get to vote on anything. But, you know, at today's, the reason we're here today, in my opinion, is we had a constituent that was a developer, and we have a contractor here today that has a project that they have completed that is a totally different animal from the problem we're talking about.
yeah.
I mean, and we had it on the meeting last time, and out of respect, you know, we all have family, we all have times, and Mark was off on vacation with his family during Christmas because they couldn't do it during Christmas. So, you know, I mean, my deal is, out of respect for Mark, you know, and his word, I mean, not trying to sway anybody any which way, but we're talking two different projects here.
Well, all I want
And
to make sure.
if you know, if Mark, if I didn't trust in the engine, and that's like an attorney, we got an attorney, we got an engineer, we hire people to do position. I mean, and that's why we're here today. But that's totally up to y'all what y'all decide. So, any more discussion?
I don't have any.
You gonna call for the vote?
Y'all ready to call for the vote?
Call for the vote.
All right. No more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Samet?
Aye.
Commissioner Townsend?
Aye.
Commissioner Barksdale?
Nay.
All right. This carries 2-1. So motion carries. At the report of officers, Commissioner Samet,
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Barksdale.
I don't have anything.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have
Commissioner
anything.
Black is out today. Commissioner
I don't
Townsend.
have anything.
And I just want to thank everybody for being in attendance today. And we will adjourn until 9 a.m. on Tuesday, January the 17th, 2022, right here where we're at today. And Monday will be the holiday, so we will be here on Tuesday. Thank y'all.